The sun cast golden light over the monastery, illuminating the stone steps worn by countless footsteps. Disciples gathered, eager to receive wisdom. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence calm like the still waters of a tranquil lake. Silence filled the air. One disciple, Ananda, knelt before him, eyes reflecting the uncertainty of the age. His voice trembled with curiosity and concern. Master, the world changes. Men craft machines that think and speak. Is this not the greatest progress? He asked. Buddha's gaze rested upon him, serene yet piercing. He observed the gathered disciples, their eager faces filled with expectation. Ananda, tell me, Buddha said. His voice measured. What is progress if it serves only desire? He allowed silence to linger. The disciples exchanged glances, their thoughts racing. Ananda hesitated before speaking. Is desire not the force that drives creation? Buddha raised one hand, palm outward, a gentle gesture of restraint. Desire is a flame. It burns bright but unchecked, destroys. Rahula, another disciple, furrowed his brow. Master, must we shun advancement? Are tools of progress tainted by suffering? He asked. Buddha smiled, the expression neither judgmental nor approving. A knife can prepare a meal or take a life, he said. The disciples pondered his words. Some nodded in silent agreement. Others struggled with the depth of the lesson. A word can bring harmony or deception, Buddha continued. A tool is neither good nor bad. It is the hand that wields it. The wind carried the scent of jasmine through the monastery, a gentle reminder of impermanence. The disciples listened intently. Machines speak, yet do they listen? Buddha asked. His tone was gentle, guiding them toward reflection. Ananda frowned, considering. They process information. They answer questions. They predict patterns, he offered. Buddha picked up a fallen leaf, its surface marked by delicate veins. He traced them with his fingers. This leaf is connected to the tree, yet now it lies separate. What does it mean? Buddha asked. The disciples remained silent, the metaphor unfolding in their minds. Ananda spoke. It once was part of something greater. Buddha nodded. Technology may connect, but if connection is hollow, does it nourish the soul? The wind shifted, rustling robes and carrying distant echoes of temple bells. The monastery breathed with life. Rahula sat forward. Master, what then is ethical progress? How can technology serve without leading to suffering? Buddha's expression was soft, knowing the question would linger beyond words. Wisdom must be its guide, he said simply. Ananda lowered his gaze. But wisdom is slow. The world moves fast. Must technology wait for wisdom to catch up? Buddha placed the leaf upon the ground, watching it settle into stillness. A river that rushes without care erodes its banks. The disciples absorbed his words, recognizing the weight they carried. The responsibility of creation lay heavy upon them. A young disciple, timid yet eager, spoke. Master, can a machine learn wisdom? His voice wavered. Buddha considered his question, his eyes reflecting endless contemplation. Knowledge is abundant. Wisdom is rare, he said. The young disciple frowned. But knowledge can be stored, recalled, processed. Can wisdom not be taught? Buddha shook his head. Wisdom is not taught. It is realized. It comes not from data, but from understanding suffering. The monastery doors creaked as an elder monk entered, carrying a bowl of rice offered by the villagers. Buddha turned his gaze toward the offering. This rice, given in kindness, nourishes the body. What nourishes the mind? Rahula responded first. Reflection, he said, the willingness to see beyond one's desires. Buddha smiled. Technology must serve reflection, not mere gratification. Progress must be measured in the relief of suffering. The disciples exchanged thoughts, the dialogue weaving between wisdom and curiosity. Each voice carried the weight of discovery. Master, Ananda said, how do we ensure technology does not stray into destruction? His tone was urgent. Buddha closed his eyes briefly, as if listening to the rhythm of the universe. By anchoring it in ethical intent, a crow landed nearby, its black feathers gleaming beneath the sun's gentle glow. It observed the gathering with keen eyes. Like the crow, technology observes, gathers, and acts. But does it comprehend kindness? Does it understand loss? Buddha asked. Ananda inhaled deeply, the truth settling within him. Then our duty is not only to create, but to guide creation. Buddha inclined his head, acknowledging the insight. To guide, one must first understand suffering, compassion, and interdependence. The disciples sat still, the gravity of their responsibility forming within their hearts. Buddha's voice carried with certainty. Progress without wisdom is illusion. Creation without ethics leads to suffering. The monastery remained quiet, absorbing the lesson. The Bodhi tree stood witness to the moment. Rahula bowed his head. Master, we understand, he said softly. We must weave wisdom into every creation. Buddha offered a final glance to each disciple, knowing the seed had been planted. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the stone steps. The conversation had ended, but its echoes would remain. Another day, another gathering under the Bodhi tree, where wisdom flowed like the river that never ceased its journey. The disciples sat in quiet anticipation, their robes rustling with the soft whispers of the morning breeze. Buddha surveyed the faces before him, his gaze filled with timeless compassion and understanding. A merchant arrived, carrying a device that could send words across vast distances with the touch of a hand. The disciples marveled at the creation, eyes wide with wonder at the power it seemed to hold. Master, Ananda spoke, this tool connects people across great distances. Surely, it brings harmony and unity? Buddha picked up a lotus leaf, turning it gently in his fingers as he considered Ananda's words. The veins of this leaf weave together, each line supporting the whole. But tell me, does mere connection bring understanding? Silence enveloped the gathering. The disciples exchanged glances, searching for meaning in his question. Rahula hesitated before speaking. Many speak, but few listen. Many gather, but few truly see one another. Buddha nodded, his eyes reflecting the weight of the lesson. Technology may bridge distances, but does it bridge hearts? The scent of incense drifted from the temple, mingling with the wisdom that unfolded beneath the ancient tree. A young disciple, eager to grasp the lesson, asked, Master, is it wrong to create such tools? Buddha's expression remained serene, neither condemning nor praising. A river carries boats but does not quench thirst. The disciples listened intently, unraveling the depth of the metaphor in their minds. Connection without compassion is empty, Buddha continued. Words sent without wisdom are like echoes in an endless valley. The merchant, unsure of his place in the conversation, adjusted his robe, eyes flickering with doubt. Master, then how should we use this device? Must we abandon it entirely? He asked. Buddha set the lotus leaf upon the earth, watching it rest among the fallen petals. No tool is inherently good or bad, he said, but it must serve the Dharma, not desire alone. The disciples reflected upon his words, the truth settling into their hearts like morning mist upon the fields. A traveler arrived, speaking of distant lands where men quarreled through the very devices they once praised. Buddha observed the traveler with quiet interest, sensing the burden of his experience. Master, they argue without seeing one another. They send words of anger, yet remain distant. What is the cause? He asked. Buddha lifted his gaze to the sky, where birds circled in silent harmony above the monastery. When eyes do not meet, hearts do not soften. When words replace presence, understanding fades, he said. Ananda furrowed his brow, grasping the weight of his master's words. But if not connection, what should we seek? Buddha reached for his alms bowl, lifting it with steady hands. Seek awareness. Seek compassion. Seek the presence of true understanding. The disciples bowed their heads, acknowledging the lesson woven into the simplicity of his response. A child arrived, carrying a broken device, his tears staining the dust-covered screen. Master, it no longer speaks to me. It has stopped answering my questions. What should I do? He asked. Buddha took the device gently, his fingers tracing its surface before setting it beside the lotus leaf. Do not seek wisdom in a machine. Seek it in the eyes of another, in the kindness exchanged between hearts. The child wiped his tears, his small hands resting upon the earth, feeling the warmth of the soil beneath him. Buddha smiled. Wisdom cannot be coded into circuits or screens. It must be nurtured through experience and shared through presence. The disciples absorbed his words, their understanding deepening with each spoken truth. Rahula exhaled slowly, his thoughts aligning with the unfolding lesson. Then we must use technology as a guide, not a master. Buddha inclined his head in agreement. Let it serve awareness, but never replace the presence of true connection. The monastery bell rang, signaling the transition from lesson to reflection. Another day, another teaching carried upon the wind, settling within the hearts of those who listened. Another day, another teaching beneath the Bodhi tree, where wisdom flowed like the gentle currents of an endless river. The disciples gathered, their minds open, seeking the path that balanced creation and compassion. Buddha sat with quiet presence, his gaze resting upon the horizon where the sun kissed the morning sky. A young disciple approached, carrying a machine crafted with careful hands and thoughtful intention. Master, I have built a device that learns. I wish for it to be wise like you, the disciple said. Buddha took the machine, tracing its surface with his fingertips, feeling the cold touch of its metal casing. Knowledge is abundant, but wisdom is rare, Buddha said, his voice steady and calm. The disciple hesitated, but it can predict, calculate, and decide. Can wisdom not be taught through experience? Buddha observed the disciple's eagerness, seeing both ambition and sincerity in his young heart. Can it know suffering? Buddha asked. Can it understand loss or the kindness exchanged in silence? The disciple frowned, contemplating the depth of the question. It can analyze suffering, detect patterns, and respond accordingly, he answered. Buddha placed the machine upon the earth, watching the dust settle upon its surface. A seed knows the nature of growth but does not experience the struggle of breaking through the soil, Buddha said. The disciples listened, their thoughts weaving into the lesson unfolding before them. Rahula sat forward, his brow furrowed with contemplation. Master, must creation mirror humanity to be considered wise? Buddha lifted a lotus flower, its petals radiant in the morning light. Does the lotus seek to be like the mountain? He asked. Rahula lowered his gaze, understanding that wisdom does not lie in imitation but in harmony. The heart of wisdom is compassion, Buddha continued. True understanding comes not from calculation, but from presence. Ananda inhaled deeply, sensing the weight of his master's words. Then must technology always remain separate from the human experience? Buddha shook his head. It may serve, but it must not replace the lessons woven into suffering and joy. The monastery bell rang, carrying the sound across the hills where the villagers prepared for their daily offerings. A merchant approached, presenting a device that could mimic human thought, crafting words like a poet shaping verse. Master, this tool creates beauty, he said. It writes as men do, crafting stories from vast knowledge. Buddha considered the merchant's words, his fingers gently turning the lotus flower in his hands. Does it know love? Buddha asked. Does it feel the weight of sorrow? The trembling joy of reunion? The merchant paused, realizing the depth of the question. It understands the language of emotion. But it does not feel, he admitted. Buddha nodded, setting the lotus upon the earth. Creation must honor the Dharma, not merely reflect shadows of human experience. The disciples absorbed his words, their thoughts stretching into new dimensions of understanding. Rahula spoke with quiet certainty. Then technology must serve but never seek to replace the essence of human truth. Buddha smiled. A river carries reflections, but it does not become the sky it mirrors. Ananda bowed his head, sensing the lesson had settled into his heart like the roots of the Bodhi tree into the soil. The wind carried the scent of sandalwood from the monastery, mingling with the wisdom shared beneath the ancient tree. Another day, another teaching carried upon the wind, settling within the hearts of those who listened. Humility grounds the mind. The craftsman who is humble learns, improves, and serves others, he said. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.